Love you, baby. You're beautiful.
A couple of years, things may change when all the kids grow up and start wearing ties and going to the polls.
You ever have that feeling where you're not sure if you're awake or still dreaming?
Any member of the police department who has allowed himself to get out of condition will either get back into condition or be weeded out.
School board? Yeah. I was going to go and talk with Anthony Lewis. Yeah. So. Hey guys, it's Michael. It's Lawrence Accountability. Justin, Dr. Hottie, they call him. The dreaded rabble rouser. This is a little bit of dreaded accountability coming to Lawrence today. I'll let you spill the beans.
Well, so we're set up right here. We're outside the Lawrence Douglas County Courthouse and Law Enforcement Center, and that's where the District Attorney's office is. And the news today here out of Lawrence is that the Deputy District Attorney Josh Shaky Hands Seiden is no longer working there, and so me and Michael are sitting here to talk about. And the reason why I call him Josh Shaky Hands Seiden is because back earlier this year, at the end of January 30th and then February 1st, I went in there to the DA's office and I was filming. You can check out the videos on my channel, the Dreaded Rabble Rouser. But he was filming me. Seiden was filming me, and so he was going back and forth filing CORA requests, and each time he was coming out filming me, I would say, I need another request for what's on your phone. And so he finally came out without his phone, and I said, well, why aren't you recording? He's like, well, to be honest with you, I drank a lot of coffee this morning and my hands are shaky, and it wouldn't be good footage. Like, okay, Josh, whatever. So we're here to kind of discuss his departure and the surroundings of that.
The problem is we don't really know a whole lot about the specific reason why he's departed, but I tell you what, it can't help that there is so much pressure on that DA's office right now.
Right.
Not only are we in a DA's race locally, but you have Seiden coming out acting like that. You have what's the thing that happened with the judge in here? They were in a hearing in a courtroom, and Josh didn't like the way the judge was ruling, and he literally tries to turn to the chief judge in the courtroom who was just watching the hearing. Who does that, man?
I know. And that speaks to, I think, his ego and his just the authority and the untouchability that and the arrogance that he thought he had, that he could turn to and do that in a courtroom and think that everybody would be just fine with it because it's Josh Seiden. And so, yeah, all that plays a role. And so that's what we want to talk about here a little bit, is that, you know, we played a part in it as well.
And
the videos,
and you guys that are watching, some of you guys made phone calls, some of you guys, I'm sure, sent letters.
Right.
All
helped.
that makes a difference. Here's the thing, though, and I want to point this out because somebody said this to me a little earlier, that they still don't know, is he still treasurer of Valdez's campaign?
The article didn't say.
You know, because he's the treasurer of her DA campaign, and she's still running for DA.
Right.
So is he truly jumping ship, or is he just getting out of the way?
Right. Yeah. There's a lot to still be found out, I suppose, on that.
But
you know, we want to hopefully just show the value in just showing up and having exposure. And so, you know, that video with Seiden that I had, you know, none of that was planned at all. I didn't have any idea he was going to do that, but I showed up because I had a question that I wanted to ask, and I recorded it. And imagine if more and more of us did that, and the exposure, because basically we're just highlighting the incompetence of these people and their dirty deeds and how they operate, and it all comes out in their hearings as well, and how they treat victims. But if we're not showing up highlighting it, nobody will ever see the incompetence. So everybody has a role.
You say incompetence and dirty deeds, though. I don't know that it's incompetence. That man, I know that when he looked at me and said something to me, he didn't look at me like I was an equal to him. He didn't see me as another man next to him.
There's that as well. But he was exposed on a level that I imagine other attorneys see that video and go, this guy is an attorney, and he's a deputy district attorney. Like, if we go to trial against him, this is who we're up against, and he has been losing cases just left and right. And I think it's because nobody respects him as an attorney. I mean, why would you? And I think the important thing is, of course, nobody will see that in a courtroom because you can't go in there. But if you go in, you interact with people, you interact with the DAs, you interact with go to the meetings and stuff. That's where the exposure comes in. And again, like, imagine if more people were doing that. And I'm not saying, I'm not trying to veer into that whole auditor bullshit. None of that none of that comes down to this auditor stuff. This is just, we have a question, we're filming it, and this is what happens. And they always do that to themselves.
Think about it. If you go into any facility right now, any city facility, police station, the courthouse, whatever, you're being filmed. And there's no reason that you can't film those interactions. I've got people coming to me all the time talking to me about how somebody has slighted them in one of these offices, how somebody has talked down to them or totally dismissed them or just treated them horribly, but they didn't have just take your camera. And either they're A, they're going to see that you have a camera and they're going to adjust themselves, or B, they're going to act like our boy Josh over here and end up having to run away from his problems.
Right. And then I guess along with that, realizing that not everybody has like a YouTube channel to post that shit to, but get in contact with people that could make that go somewhere. Everyone should be a citizen journalist to some degree.
There's one of us in every state in the country right now. I guarantee it. There's more than one of us in every state. There's two of us right here. Mm-hmm. If somebody from El Dorado, Kansas sent me a video of the assistant district attorney in El Dorado acting like that and said, hey, I need help in Kansas, yeah, I'm going to post that. Mm-hmm. And I'm telling you guys out there that if you have district attorneys that act like Josh Seiden, if you have police that act like the Brad Williamses and the David Shanes and those people, you need to film them and you need to get it out there so people can see it, because it really does change it. It's a long freaking road.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it can be.
And you'll be in court. I mean, I've got a hearing this Friday. I've got a motion hearing this Friday on the felony case from the arrest over there when I was filming them last year. So, but it won't be Josh Seiden in there.
No, it won't. And and it's not just, and I'm not trying to sound preachy, I'm just trying to relay some of my experience of the stuff that has happened around here that I've been a part of. It's not just showing up and recording and like that, but also showing up to the meetings. And one of the reasons why that's important, even if you don't get have any interaction with the people that, like, city commissioners, county commissioners, even if you don't interact with them, your pressure makes a difference. I believe so. Around here throughout COVID, we had some turnover at places that I was putting pressure on. So we had one of the county commissioners, her name's Shannon Portillo. She left 2 years into her 4-year term, and I take part credit in that for the pressure that we put on her that factored into her life decisions on whether or not she wanted to move to another state. Same thing happened with the school district superintendent, Anthony Lewis. He applied for a job a couple years ago, right in the middle of COVID, right in the middle of budget crisis, wanting to jump ship and go back home to his home state in Alabama. I take partial credit for that. The health director, he resigned shortly after the last mandate went into place. Again, partial credit in that. We all should be doing that and taking our partial credit and then doing our victory lap, instead of just sitting around online and just bitching and moaning and complaining and realizing something's wrong. Go do your part, show up, put your pressure on them, and if that ripples out and another person puts their pressure, and then you got a whole bunch of people that are putting pressure. That Josh Seiden thing, everyone that saw that video that reached out to him, I appreciate that so much. There were people doing Quora requests for his stuff. There were people calling in there. A couple days later, I went back in there. They had the Quora requests sitting up on the ledge, and I said, "Oh, they're here now?" She's like, "Yeah, we've had a lot of people want do some Quora requests here recently." And
so you guys did Quora training for the DA.
Yeah, So every little bit helps, and that, behind the scenes stuff helps, of course, but also on the scene stuff helps out tremendously. So we can stop sitting around and feeling defeatist that we can't change things. Well, we certainly can. We have to use our voices, though, is the thing. And
there's going to be, I'm going to go ahead and touch on it just because it's been the last couple days, this whole thing with Carolina and Fort Worth and that whole situation. That went national so fast, and it's because of the network of people. I mean, whether it's CJ Grisham, Patrick, You hate him or like him, whatever. But the other guys, the Batusai and them guys down there that saw this and put it out immediately, and it just, I mean, hell, San Joaquin's got it. James Freeman's on it.
Harvey Freeberg, all those guys.
That's a network of support and activism that can't be matched out there. That's bringing some numbers, and they say that it's all these people that are far away. We show up, and there are people that show up.
Right, and I hope that it's not just entertainment. I hope that those things are inspiring. I hope hearing that stuff inspires people to want to start to use their rights as Americans. Stop taking them for granted. So actually, I mean, posting stuff on comment section ain't really exercising your rights. I'm talking about like going here and showing up in those places and seeing what happens, you know, and seeing what happens. But again, I just hope that it's not you know, this isn't just entertainment. This should be getting all of us engaged.
This is serious.
Socially engaged. This
is serious in here. Valdez still is here, and she's got to be defeated or sent packing some way. We got 2 other DA candidates, Dakota Loomis and Tonda Hill,
and then a Republican that'll go up against the winner of that in the general.
Right. And so there's options, and Valdez, she has the primary to lose, and she has the general to lose. And so do you want to throw your support behind the losing candidate or not? It's time to dump the ship right now, and let's change it. Let's get the rest of them out, and let's just make the change. The voters can do it. And I'm not even going to tell you who to vote for. I'm going to say right now, anybody but Valdez. Just because of the stuff that's gone on and the attitude and the hubris. I mean, is that just raw hubris, what we saw in there that day when he came out and sat there and filmed you and took, God, what do you take, 30 to 45 minutes of the district attorney's salary to sit there and...
For no reason. He didn't even have to be out there. I was just filling out. I asked him a question and we were done. I was wanting to fill out paperwork, and he could have left at that point, but he decided not to.
But those are the people that you pay to perform these high-level positions. So having Josh Seiden leave is a net gain when he's doing stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah, just imagine people just showing up at these places and just wanting to see, well, what does a DA do all day if he has the time to sit there and film us? Well, let me just set up shop here and film for a little bit. What if more and more, and I'm not saying like be an auditor, I'm saying like, let's really see what these people are doing at work. Clearly, Seiden thought he could sit there and he had the time to film me when he's losing these big cases that all of it contributed to his job. He thought he was untouchable. And I imagine a lot of those people think that they're untouchable.
I didn't even get there. I mean, he's taking all that time with you at the same time as he's losing all these cases.
Yeah.
You know, he has much better things to do than screw around with a citizen who's just doing a court request.
That's what accountability is. He's not the only one that's doing that. They're all over the place. We just have to, expose them, you know. The exposure is what's key.
Yep. All right.
Cool.
One down, a couple more to go.
That's right.
I can't hide the pain it brings so far away. Sometimes